Builder communities northwest of Fort Worth are closing out on their final phases right now, and pricing is getting pretty aggressive because carrying costs on unsold lots can add up really fast. And I'm talking about deals over $100,000 off in Northlake, Hazlet, and Justin. But these phases close out in the next few months, and once they're gone, you're probably stuck paying closer to resale. But we'll see about that. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the exact incentives in 4 different areas because these final phases all sell out. All right, first up is going to be Pecan Square in Northlake. And there's something that surprises most people when they come out for a relocation visit to Northlake. It's that it doesn't quite feel like a standard suburb. Most of what you'll find online about the area is new, wide roads, new Harvest Town Center, everything built out in the last 5 to 10 years if you go north of Highway 114. And Northlake's they've got some of that too. But it also has a real community first, modern farmhouse vibe. It's walkable. Everywhere you look, it's just beautiful. Open spaces, the greeting house, the post, buildings all around that. You could literally go there for coffee or to work in the co-working space and then get stuck there for a couple hours just hanging out with some neighbors. And then you might get sucked into one of the community events, which I absolutely love. But it's got a real community feel that a lot of the outer suburbs are still trying to work on. But Northwest ISD and Argyle ISD are also top rated. So for families moving here with kids and you're looking for school quality, it's incredible. And it shows up in the home values as well. Pecan Square is right in the heart of the Northlake growth, about 25 miles north of Fort Worth. And it was designed to really feel different from your typical new build neighborhood. They've got the massive arena for concerts, resort style pools, and trail network all winding throughout the community. Kind of the standout is the high-tech lifestyle. It's a technology inspired community hub that really gives neighbors a reason to meet each other. And then as far as builders, these are some of the best builders you'll find in all of Texas, from David Weekley, Coventry Homes, D.R. Horton, Pulte Homes, my personal favorite, Highland Homes, and you got K. Obnany. I mean, the list goes on and on. So Pecan Square is moving through several final sub-phases of development here in May of 2026. So they're closing out certain sections. And of course, when these homes are sold, that's it. There's no next phase for these specific lot types. The builders that are active here know it, and they're starting to price accordingly. And so if you take a look at a few of the deals, like Highland Homes is currently offering $20,000 in savings and kitchen upgrades on select inventory, but they're labeling sales as final opportunities, and that's the reality of it. Even Coventry Homes, you're seeing an inventory price savings ranging from $20,000 to over $100,000 on completed homes. But if you don't know what a 2-1 buy down is, it means that your interest rate is lowered by 2% for the first year, 1% for the second year, and then it goes to the actual rate for the remaining term. So for example, right now we're looking at, let's just say it's 6.3%. You can actually have a start rate of 4.3% for the first year, a 5.3% rate for your second year, and then you go back to 6.3 in the third year through the end of the term. And hopefully within the next couple of years, rates come down and you refinance. The money used to reduce the interest rate would be refunded if you refinanced within the first 2 years. So it's not like that money's lost if you refinance. If you'd like more info or have questions, please reach out. All our contact info is in the description or on the screen. But I'll get back to that in just a minute. The first year rate is worth kind of breaking down. So a buy down like that compared to what most buyers are expecting right now can save several hundred a month on homes, especially in the $500,000 $600,000, $700,000 range, I mean, that's a real savings right now. And it's kind of that thing that can make relocation feel financially comfortable, you could say, when it might otherwise feel like a bit of a stretch. But once again, once these homes are gone, the resale is your only option if you want to get into some of these communities, and resale sellers don't typically hand out $20,000 in rate buydowns. If you're looking at prices right now in communities like Wellington or Sweetgrass and Hazlet, they're probably some of the best you've ever seen. These phases kind of close out right now with the way the market is too. You've got more negotiating power as a buyer, especially if you use my team. Having lived here almost 50 years, I've seen these pastures turn into these master plans firsthand. Hazlet's discounts are coming from a mix of closeouts and market shifts. There's a good bit of inventory in Hazlet right now. But before we jump into that, if you're thinking about relocating, of course, my name is Sean, my business partner, Mindy Bone, and I help people just like you do this every single month. We'd be very happy to help you make your next move, but we also understand that everybody's individual situation is unique, and just book a call on Zoom. We can meet you in person or shoot me a text or give me a call. We'd be happy to have a quick conversation with you and see what might be right for you and your family. If you look at another community in Hazlet called Wellington, I've made videos in that community. Actually, I've toured most of the model homes there, but they're offering some pretty good looking discounts right now. Builders like American Legend Homes, Highland Homes, and they've recently, they've reduced on their 40, 50, and 60 lots. So if you're relocating and planning to commute to Fort Worth or Reliance, that's financially, the commute there is phenomenal. You'll save money on having your travel time. So that's a really good benefit. There are parks, amenity centers right in the middle of it. So it's really beautiful and amazing. It's also zoned to Northwest ISD, which makes this community very attractive to a lot of people. All three of my kids graduated from Northwest ISD, phenomenal school district. But when we talk about Flower Mound, it's a different beast entirely. In Flower Mound, you're looking at luxury. I mentioned that because when we talk about the discounts, I want you to really understand what you actually have in place there. You're getting a deal on communities like Oak Ridge Crossing, Town Lake, Dixon Estates. And what most people don't realize is that how you structure this deal is just as important as the dollar amount. I'll break that down in a minute. But if you look at some of the builders in Flower Mound, you've got Toll Brothers, David Weekley Homes, their Wyburn Manor and Estate Series, multiple builders that are competing for your business, and that's a huge win for buyers. New construction prices in Flower Mound are at a premium, with many starting at $1.4 million. So buying in with a price reduction like $100,000, just saw in a custom build. It's huge. Toll Brothers is running some pretty good incentives. I'm hesitant to mention exactly what they are just yet because by the time you watch this video, they actually could be over. So that's another reason why you want to reach out. First Texas Homes, they're active in areas like Laterra, have announced up to $30,000 in flex cash for homes contracted through June of this year. If you're relocating and you want that growth potential, the small town vibe of Justin and the upside to what's coming, this is where you should look. Before we get the biggest deal in this video, there's another area that you have to know about, and that is the custom estate opportunities in Justin and North Lake. Think about this, $147,000 in savings. That's how much a client of ours walked into a home just last month. And that's not a rumor. This is a deal we actually closed and got our client $147,000. In Justin, you've got communities like Treeline, where Highland Homes is very active, prices in the 400s and 500s, but those big six-figure deals, those happen in the higher end phases where builders are sitting on premium lots. Inside these areas, they've got resort style pools, tennis courts, walking trails. For builders, you've got everyone from Trophy Signature to American Legend. Homes range from the 400s all the way to well over $1 million in the estate sections. You feel the difference and everything's a little bit more polished. I want to show you exactly how that $147,000 deal broke down. We got $100,000 in flex cash. That was for them to use however they wanted. Plus, we got $27,000 off the lot premium and $20,000 towards closing costs with the lender of their choice, by the way. So they don't have to use the builder's lender. That's a big deal. Let me break that down a little bit more. The $100,000 in flex cash is like do whatever, right? They could be used towards anything. They added a massive garage and a 5th bedroom. They made some structural changes like widening some doorways and getting sliders in the back. They just really used that extensively with extending the back patio. We didn't use anything towards a rate buy down because this was a build from the ground up. Ultimately, the contract price was about 1.1 originally. We got down to just a hair over $1 million, and they got the biggest lot on a green belt, and on top of it, they got an amazing view out of their backyard. Whenever they do close in about 8 months, we'll look at rates at that time. I'm telling you, most people go into these builders, especially when they don't work with us, they have no idea what flex cash is or how to use it. The next $20,000 off, we got on the lot premium. The next $20,000 off was a lot premium discount. They had a lot premium upcharge. As I said, this was the biggest lot left. There's a premium and they're going to charge for it. And we were able to go ahead and get another $27,000 off of that. How did we do that? Well, that's something I kind of hold close to my chest. I don't want to give away all my secrets, but if you're looking at new construction, I highly recommend you have representation. Having been in the market for almost 50 years, Mindy and I have the relationships to pull these levers regardless of the situation. I have the relationships to pull these levers regardless of the situation. You walk in there alone and you're like, man, I really love this lot. And the builder's going to say, yeah, it's an extra $50,000. And guess what most people do? They just lump it into the loan. In the meantime, wherever you're like, yeah, I think that lot premium is a little bit high. It's actually extremely high. It really comes down to the relationships that we have. We got $20,000 towards closing costs. Like I said, that was the lender of choice most of the time, 90%. It really comes down to the relationships we have. We got $20,000 towards closing costs, and like I said, that was the lender of their choice. Most of the time, 99% of the time, the builder is not going to let you do that with an outside lender. How we work this, maybe I'll reveal this secret. And it's that we're in a specific profession with special loan programs the builder's mortgage company didn't offer. Through a little bit of discussion, they said, you know what, Sean, we love your YouTube channel and all the clients you brought us, so we'll let you use that $20,000 on lender choice. And a lot of that comes from the upfront work on these videos. And a home that's $900,000 closing costs could easily be $25,000. Having that covered is something else. You don't have to come out of pocket for. At the end of a development, builders discount lots specifically to cut down on overhead. The urgency is structural. Remember, I've been showing these $140,000 discounts for a couple of years now. A lot of people think that window has closed, but that's just not the case. You need to understand how to work with a team like us to maximize that. I can't guarantee $147,000 off on every single home, but every situation is different. If you're planning on relocating to the North Lake, Hazlet, or Flower Mound area and want to know what's available, especially in communities like Wildflower Ranch or The Ridge, go ahead and scan the QR code or schedule a Zoom call. Go ahead and scan the QR code or schedule a Zoom call. Mindy and I would love to meet you and make this the easiest possible move you've ever had. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.